Hey, I'm Zachary, founder of Force to Flow, and I work with people who are spiritually awake but practically lost. Today, I'm going to talk about my story. Oh man. My story is kind of a hard one to tell. I feel like I haven't had the normal experience of life, but I'm going to do the best that I can. And honestly, I think that this story is probably some other people's story, but people like me can tend to feel maybe a little isolated, maybe a little alone in what we're going through. So I'll start when I was young. I grew up in a Southern Baptist context, Christian context. I went to private school, from basically kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade. And it kind of had that Southern Baptist or non-denominational feel to it. And I grew up really thinking that I knew what was right, what to believe. And I got to a point, sometime in my teenage years where I started to question some things about the way that we did life, the way that we did church, and why do we believe what we believe. And honestly, through that Southern Baptist kind of upbringing, there were some belief systems that kind of I clung to along the way that really just introduced a deep amount of shame and guilt and a massive amount of fear in my life. Fear especially that I'd go to hell for, the things that I was doing. And that followed me, even through the questioning. So, it was during my high school times that I kind of started to explore a little bit in worship. I'm a musician. I love music. And by the time I was about 18, I got out of high school, graduated. I started to sing and play guitar and lead worship. And I kind of found myself, I think, in an effort to get out of the rigidness of where I was with like the Southern Baptist non-denominational context. I actually went into more of a charismatic space and started leading worship there. And that felt really good for me at the time, and it felt very freeing for me at the time. And I kind of traded my rigidity, of believing one way for believing another way. And that it felt okay for a minute, but it didn't feel ultimately fulfilling. And it wasn't until years later, after I had been leading worship for at least, 4, 5, 6 years, I started to really question some of the foundational things about our, Christian tradition. And that was really difficult for me because I was in a leadership position as a worship leader in a church that it was open and felt definitely way more free to me than kind of the more non-denominational or Southern Baptist route that I had grown up in. But there were still some things, that you don't want to question, especially if you're kind of in front. And that was really difficult for me. And I felt like cognitive dissonance was happening, where it's like I have these real questions, but I'm too afraid to go there. It's not even that anyone else imposed that thought or that idea on me. It's just I was too afraid to go there. And that fear came from the Southern Baptist background. And, I'm afraid to go to hell. Like that was a deep-seated thing in me that wasn't necessarily a conscious, rational thought by the time I got into, my college years and my early 20s. But I think it was really in there. It got to a point where, the church that I was working at shut down. I had started working with an organization that helped people talk to God, that helped people pray. And I learned so much from that place and that methodology and that understanding of we can actually have an intimate and individual relationship with God. And that was incredibly powerful for me. But again, it put me kind of in the forefront of having to maintain at least some of these core beliefs that I was really questioning. That was difficult for me. It's really difficult for me. And ultimately, I think by the time I left that organization and I moved into an even different organized space where I'm at currently, actually, that holds a lot of space and is very open to people of many different faiths. That's where I really felt the permission to go there. And as soon as I did, it started kind of a 3-year journey of what I call like the dark night of the soul, or a downward spiral into not anything clinical, but kind of a depression, a sadness that I couldn't shake. And everything seemed all right. Everything around me seemed good. Even I had a stable job, a beautiful family, a house. I had all these things, this life that I constructed that was like, on the outside looking in, it made no sense that I was feeling the way I was feeling, but I was. And for 3 years, it just got worse and worse and worse. And it was subtle. And I think honestly, what was happening was actually an awareness of something that was deep and in there all the time. And I just wasn't willing to go there until then. And so it wasn't actually until last fall I got to this point where I had this very transformative experience that I couldn't quite articulate. And I started to explore some other spiritual perspectives. And I watched a documentary one night that I didn't think too much of. And it was really about letting go of the ideas of who we think we are, right? And I was tracking with the whole thing, and I went to bed, and I woke up the next day, and all the sadness, all the pain that I was feeling, left. It was gone. And for a week, I walked around in what I can only describe as an intense experience of the connectedness of all things, of the oneness of all things. I felt the presence of something far beyond physical matter in everything around me. And I walked in that for about a week without letting up at all. And that fundamentally shifted everything for me, because everything I taught people about hearing God, everything I taught people about the way that we can interact with God or the divine, became really real to me that week. And honestly, ever since, I've been on this trajectory that has changed my life. It's changed what I've decided to pursue. It's changed how I live my life and my outlook on everything, to the point where I don't feel that same sadness all the time anymore. Now, I'm still in moments where I feel those feelings, but I no longer look at it the same way. And I'm actively building a life that I want to build. That's why I built Force to Flow. It's for those people who are where I was, where you thought you knew what you believed, you questioned it, and you don't know who you are without it anymore. It's 12 weeks, 3 phases, 1 grounded life. If you like this, subscribe for more content. There'll be new videos every 2 weeks or so. And drop me a comment if my story resonates with you. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.